The ABCD camp boasts of having many of the star NBA pairs as a part of their alumni, and well, they got the bragging rights since not many basketball camps can flaunt the fact that LeBron James and Kobe Bryant attended their program. In today's video, we'll be telling you all about the experiences of these two legends in the camp and how they shaped them as players. So let's get started. First up, it was hard for Kobe to outshine at the camp. Even though his skills were undeniable, there was nothing so special about Kobe when he first enrolled at the ABCD camp. In fact, it was his father who used his connections to get his son into the camp. Nepotism hardly has any satisfying results, but this was definitely one of those rare occurrences. Even though Bryant has had to face the likes of Stephon Marbury and Shamgar Wells, he was still certain that he could easily fight his way towards an MVP award in 1994. But, as fate would have it, the young player wasn't able to get the award he so badly wanted. Sonny Vaccaro, who was in charge of the ABCD camp, recalled Bryant coming up to him after the games and actually apologizing to him for not winning the MVP award. The player then went on to promise that he would come back next year and get what he had originally come for. Now that's dedication. And guess what? The year 1995 saw the great Mamba return with full force to claim the MVP trophy. Just as expected, he won fair and square. On top of this, his invitation that year didn't have anything to do with his father and his friendship with the camp in charge. In fact, Bryant was able to prove to everyone that he was just as good on his own. Up next, Kobe had a rather interesting encounter at the camp after leaving. Alright, so Kobe was actually invited as a motivational speaker at the camp long after his graduation. In our opinion, if your school invites you for a motivational talk with the students, then that's how you definitely know you made it. And during his speech, the player reached the point where he started telling his audience about the importance of family and how they were perhaps the most important thing in the world. But someone decided to interrupt his address and yelled "soft" from the back. As one would expect, the Mamba wasn't having any of this. Instead, he blessed the child with a very fitting reply that sort of intimidated everyone in attendance. The legend replied, "That's not soft. Come to court, I'll wear your out." This moment led to a few seconds of silence in the hall where everyone tried to digest what happened, but soon the room filled with laughter and even Bryant himself let out a chuckle. Moving on, here's everything else he had to say during his speech. The all-time greatest talked to his starstruck audience about basketball and how they should be sincere with their life. He told them that they should not be spending too much time out partying. Instead, they should look for someone who would stick by them through all the tough times. Seeing how this philosophy in life took the player to the heights of success, we certainly hope that the kids were able to take it to heart and that they actually followed through. One camper in particular was very much absorbed in what Kobe had to say. He later discussed this, years after the camp, and shared his experience. And well, this player was none other than the king, LeBron James, who can easily be considered perhaps the best basketball player of his time. Up next, here's what LeBron James learned from the legend. The king recalled being starstruck when he saw the legend during his time at the ABCD camp. And of course, if you've got Kobe Bryant telling you what to do and sharing his experience with you, then you better listen. That's exactly what LeBron James did. So in a way, it kind of makes sense that he's at such a high point in his career right now. When talking about the camp, he mentioned that when Kobe came to talk to the kids, he made sure to soak everything up. That definitely was the right choice since you don't get Kobe giving you a motivational speech every day. From the looks of it, the king did a pretty good job of grasping what Kobe had to say. James is now settled with a very happy family and a very successful record, which honestly makes us very happy for him. Now here is everything there is to know about LeBron's time at the camp. The player was actually a part of the camp in the summer of 2001. The program took place in New Jersey and was sponsored by Adidas, which gave it enough star power to claim the authenticity it had during that time period. An account of this camp written by a fellow attendee, Matt Babcock, tells how after the Mamba's inspirational talk, students had to take preparatory classes for the ACTs and SATs. Babcock mentioned that LeBron sat on the table right next to him. He remembered that the young player would fidget a lot with his hair during that session. He even went in to take a nap when he was supposed to do maths. Now, if that's not relatable, then we don't know what is. Of course, the teachers, just as expected, lectured him about how this was actually very important for his future. Apparently, James sat up for a moment after that and yelled, "I am going pro," after which he put his head back down. Now, we don't know if, before knowing this, James was your favorite player or not, but after finding this out, we're sure that he's one of the top 3. From what we found out, LeBron actually began practicing his now signature move, the tomahawk dunk, at the camp. The ABCD camp was actually the first place where LeBron was able to break into the media and create a frenzy online, which helped him kickstart his career. The #1 player in his class was Lenny Cook, who also ended up becoming a pretty successful basketball player. Apparently, both of them had a very legendary battle for the top rank, and well, we wouldn't have expected anything less than that. That's all we have for LeBron James and Kobe Bryant's experience at the ABCD camp. Now, let's take a look at some other NBA legends who attended the camp. First up, the 2005 ABCD AB camp gave us huge legends such as Isaiah Thomas. The camp might not be operating anymore, but it certainly contributed a great deal to the modern NBA we're so familiar with. The 2005 camp was no different from its predecessors. Simply put, it was loaded with talent. Isaiah Thomas wasn't just able to fully display his true potential in the camp, but also had a very solid time overall. The young player was third overall in the assists, and with a score of just under 45%, he held the fifth rank in three-point shooting. Many actually ended up underestimating him due to his comparatively smaller size, but the player was packed with talent and perfectly used that to his advantage. The player also showed strong leadership skills at the camp, along with focusing on playing with a purpose rather than just trying to score. Seems like the player stuck with this technique, and it actually did him a lot of good. He was named one of the top 50 NBA players of all time and also had 12 All-Star appearances. Moving on, another product of the 2005 camp was Kevin Love. Kevin Love, one of the rising juniors, also remained a star player throughout the camp and also became one of the players of the week occasionally. That was some critical foreshadowing. We managed to find some camp notes on Love's performance that mentioned he had some problems building chemistry with his team and that he wasn't very good at passing. Love currently plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers and has an NBA championship to his name. Apart from this, he also has 5 All-Star appearances. So, with such accomplishments, it's safe to say that he was successfully able to overcome those weaknesses. There was actually a photo of Kevin Love and Isaiah Thomas from the camp making rounds on the internet some time ago, with the two 16-year-olds standing next to each other and smiling into the camera. Now that was definitely all-time NBA gold. Finally, another NBA legend, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, was also a part of the camp. Abdur-Rahim was actually a part of the 1994 class of the camp, and like many others, this camp was the perfect kickstart for his ultimately great career in the NBA. A coach at the University of California, Todd Bozeman, saw him play alongside Stephon Marbury and Robert Traylor, but he was so mesmerized by Abdur-Rahim's performance that he picked him out of the lot. Well, that makes sense since the player went on to score 33 points in his college debut. The camp definitely did an amazing job of preparing him for the professional world. That's a wrap for this video. Hope you had fun watching it. What did you think of Kobe's response? Did you know that LeBron James was also a camper at ABCD? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for similar content.